Hi, I'm Pastor Tripp, and this is a word to live by. 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 1. 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 1. For as much then as Christ hath suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind. For he that hath suffered in the flesh have ceased from sin. You see, if you suffer your body, then you've ceased from that activity, that bad behavior. But you're going to have to suffer it, meaning you're going to have to do what? Hurt a little bit, because you got to let that go. But you've spent enough time living as the pagans have lived. What is the pagans? Sinners, those that don't want to have anything to do with God, unbelievers. We've spent enough time living as they live. So God says in verse 2, that he no longer should live the rest of his time in the flesh to the lust of men, but to the will of God. For the time past of our life may suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles, when we walk in lasciviousness, lust, excess of wine, revelings, banquetings, which is partying, and abominable idolatries. Now the works of the flesh is this. I want to go into the works of the flesh so that you know exactly what they are. God says we have spent enough time living like they live. And I want you to understand something. Your friends going to make mockery of you. Those who, you're going to find out those who you think support you don't support your walk. They're going to think you weird, think you strange, that you don't want to go out and party no more, don't want to get high no more. But that's all right, because God says that's normal. Look here in 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 4. Wherein they think it strange that you run not with them to the same excess of riot, speaking evil of you. But guess what? In verse 5, he says what? Who shall give account to him that is ready to judge the quick and the dead. They're going to have to give a judgment. Don't keep living like you're not going to see God someday. Don't keep living like you think you're never going to die, because you will. And you're going to be before God in judgment. And if you continue to live like that, you won't make it into the kingdom of heaven. Let's take a look at that. Go with me to Galatians chapter 5 and write about verse 19. Galatians chapter 5, verse 19. Galatians chapter 5, verse 19. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which is what? Are these. Which are these? Adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murder, drunkenness, revelings, and such the like, of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of God. Make sure your behavior is not of one of these. If it is, and if you've been living your life like that, God says you've spent enough time living as the unbelievers live. I pray you got something out of this. This was a word to live by.